Doodlebud, we're back again, and today we got an Esterbrook J series. This was my very first vintage pen. I'd seen these around many times, and they looked okay, but never compelled me enough to get one. I thought maybe at some point, but I came across this one at an auction. I believe it was on eBay. Something like $27 US I picked it up for. Maybe 30, somewhere around that price range. Pretty affordable. Thought, why not? It looked like it was in great condition, which it was. It just needed a new filler sack and a little work to the filling system here as well with the bar. But the main reason I got this one, oh, and just in case you're wondering, these are, nice little thing about it is it's a 4-start thread. So it's just one turn to take it off, just one full turn, off. So it's quick to take it out. Back to the main reason I got this one was the nib on this one. So this is a stock Oblique broad from Esterbrook. So this is as if you can see on there, it's a 9314B, so that's for the broad. One nice thing with these pens too is they're very easy to work with. Like, it's a nice design, and it's a vintage one. I know that you can't really compare them with modern pens because it's just very, very different. But it looks half decent, looks pretty good, especially for a pen that this is approximately right now somewhere around 1950. So like we're talking 70 years old. It's in great shape. But these just unscrew. So similar to, let's say, like a Pelican, where you can get extra nib units for your crazy expensive fountain pen that you got, and you'll have one in every size. You probably don't do that with a Pelican, but especially if it's like an 800 or something like that, very expensive nib units. You can get these nib units really cheap in all sorts of different sizes, so it's really multifunctional in that regard. So that's one really cool thing about this one. They just screw in and out the full, piece together, and they got, of course you can find fines or mediums like normal, but you can run across these too, an oblique broad. So if you don't have one, which I didn't, I thought, heck, let's try it out. Been meaning to get one, so this is mine. And so as I mentioned, it just needed to have a new filler sack done on that. And I don't know if you can, anyway, yeah, you can sort of see the mechanism a little bit, but it's tough I don't have much lighting here. But that needed to get reworked a little bit too. But even for cleaning, you can obviously use the filling system to clean it. But if you really want to dry it out, like, it's quite a large, measure it as far as a finger. It's fairly lengthy, so it holds a fair amount of ink actually if you fill it properly. But even if you want to get up there to clean it out, you can just roll up a tissue and just get in there to help dry it out and really clean it. So the pen, in that regard, comes apart quite easy. It's easy to service. Lots of parts. You can swap nibs. So it's actually really nice that way. If you want to put it back together, there's no orientation. This just goes whichever way. But then if you don't do it right, your nib doesn't line up with your filler bar, which some people wouldn't care. I do. So what you do first is you just screw the nib unit into the collar, so that way it's threaded, and then you just line the two up. You don't want to put it in and like turn it around as much. This could kind of bunch up and twist a little bit. You just do your best here. I'm looking through the camera to do this, so I don't know how close I am, but somewhere around there. Just give a press in, and now everything's lined up. And if put it on, then I got these threads are a little sensitive to where you start them to get the full rotation. There we go. It's kind of aligned. I wish it was right there, but that's me. But yeah, sharp looking pen, comes apart nice and easy. Lots of assortment in nibs. Let's just show you how this thing writes real quick. So ink I'm going to use is Diamine Sargasso C. So I'll show you how you fill it. One little thing when you fill it, you don't just put it in and then go boom, boom. You put it in, let it sit for a moment, and then, because otherwise if you take it out too early, you're not going to get a full fill. I don't want to move the camera right now because it took me a while to get this tripod set the way I like it. So anyways, you put it in, pull it down, let close, and you just let it sit for a moment. count to maybe 5 or 6 or whatever. And when you take it out, you shouldn't hear any kind of a suction or bubbling noise. See, so it didn't make any noise. If you're filling it, and when you take it out of the ink, you hear like a little kind of noise, a little suction noise, you didn't get a full fill. So if you do it too quick, you're not going to fill it all the way. But if you do fill it all the way, it actually holds, like I showed you, the sack there carries a fair amount. So yeah, you're not going to have to fill it as much as maybe some other pens. So let's get back to it and just do a quick writing sample. I like to write with this one posted because it is small. Most vintage pens, actually let me just put this lid back on because, yeah. Smart move. Most vintage pens are a little bit smaller compared to most modern day pens. So they are just a little, typically not quite as long, girthy. They're always a little more slender. So for this one, I like to post it. But it's totally comfortable. It's nice and light. Fits quite well. So I'm not the best with writing with an oblique nib. Let me try to change the focus. I think that helped a little bit. So bear with me. There's this little sweet spot. I haven't written with this pen for a few months actually. So it takes a little bit. You got to get the angle just right. I don't write like this very often, so it takes a little bit to get used to, but we'll try our best. Once you get it, it's quite smooth. So the J series. Pen is obviously in blue. I think I've come close to it. And the nib is the, what's the number again? 9314. If you hear any crying in the background, it's just my little guy. I just put him down to bed and he's being a little bit fussy. And so this is the Oblique Broad. So yeah, it gives a nice little flair to your writing. Again, I am not the guy who has the YouTube channel that has beautiful writing and calligraphy and all that stuff, and you're trying to copy me. I'm not that guy at all, but for the terrible writing I do have, oop, bumped it there, yeah, it makes it look kind of nice. So let's just do a quick let you see how it prints. Nib. So it's got nice thin strokes. Again, depends if you want to hold it more this way. You know, we can just switch the effect around. I just kind of write like this, so I get more almost architectish style writing when I write with this nib versus if you're writing flatter, you'll get a different appearance, right? You can write like this. If that's more your style, you can still, you know, write nicely. That little skip there was just me coming off the page, trying to work around the tripod. Or you can hold it more this way. Obviously you can see the strokes are going to be a little bit different. Right, so it's just going to make your writing look a little bit different. Same with your printing. Once you get the sweet spot, it writes quite well. Be a little close up of that. And this is also nice ink. It's got just some nice shading. It's a really nice blue. But that just gives you an idea how the pen looks, how it writes. Or maybe you want to get an oblique broad from a different manufacturer. That's fine too, but just thought I'd show the one I got. I'm pretty happy with the pen. I don't write with it a bunch because most of this writing I do, I don't get the opportunity to use nice paper, and it usually has to be really clear. But if I'm going to do some notes, I like to use this for birthday cards more than anything I find. So if I'm writing someone a happy birthday note and they get some semi-nicer writing than normal, you know, a little bit different. Yeah, just if you do a handwritten note to someone, but with a fancy nib, maybe it's a flex nib, or it's an oblique broad like this one, or it's a stub. yeah, it just stands out a little bit, and they just, it seems like you put a little more effort into the note that you wrote. But anyways, this is my Esterbrook J series. I like it. You should look into one if you thought about it. I'd encourage it. I've been happy that I got it. So catch you later.